All right, so Miami real estate. Everyone's got an opinion, right?
Yeah, it's either overpriced or the next big thing, depending on who you ask.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive, really digging into some recent analysis to see if we can separate the hype from, well, reality. What's really driving this market? Let's find out.
And the analysis we're looking at gets into some really interesting stuff,
Yeah.
like way beyond just the numbers.
All kind of stuff.
One thing that jumped out was how it kind of dismisses this idea of a post-pandemic price correction.
Right, because a lot of people, I think, expected that, right? Prices were up so much so fast, it seemed unsustainable.
Right. But the thing is, it wasn't just speculation, people just kind of riding a wave. This was fueled by a whole wave of new residents coming in.
And not just like vacationers, right? People actually putting down roots.
Exactly. And importantly, a lot of them, high earners.
So we're not just talking about a temporary bump. This is like a whole demographic shift.
That's what the analysis argues. They even call it population replacement, which is kind of an interesting way to put it. Like, think of it this way. You've got a neighborhood where, over time, the people who lived there before are replaced by new residents with, on average, higher salaries.
Yeah.
What happens? Well, that buying power, it ripples, right? It changes the whole market.
Absolutely. Makes total sense. More money chasing after the same, let's face it, limited supply of beachfront property. Prices are going to climb. But that kind of leads to the next question, and maybe it's on a lot of listeners' minds right now. Affordability. Are there any deals left in Miami?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
At least.
Right. But the analysis does point to a few areas where you might find some wiggle room. For example, think about those iconic Art Deco buildings you see all over, especially in South Beach.
Beautiful buildings.
Oh, stunning. But a lot of them are facing major renovations. And major renovations mean...
big assessments for the current owners. Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. And those assessments, they can really change the whole value proposition for a buyer.
For sure. So some owners might be looking to get out from under those costs.
Potentially. And then there's the whole Airbnb market, right? It's been huge in Miami.
Huge.
But new regulations are making those properties less profitable. So that's another area to keep an eye on.
So instead of cashing in, some owners might be looking to cash out.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's always the overpriced by hype factor. Properties in maybe less desirable locations where sellers are trying to, ride that wave of the overall market buzz.
Location, 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 right.
Exactly.
Speaking of location, I noticed this analysis actually included some hard numbers on price increases just for this year alone. What are we looking at?
Well, and this is where, again, it's not just about looking at, Miami real estate as this one big thing, because the source cites price per square foot increases ranging from, get this, 3% all the way up to 12%.
Wow. Okay, that's a big difference.
Huge, right. And it all depends on the neighborhood, the specific type of property, all those nuances.
It really underlines what you were saying before about quality inventory, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a deal. It's about knowing what actually makes a property a good investment.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get caught up in the hype. You want to make a smart investment. Right?
Exactly.
And that's where, having expert guidance can really make a difference.
Absolutely. Now, we've been talking a lot about residential real estate here, but this influx of people, this new money coming in, it got me thinking, what kind of impact is this having on Miami's commercial real estate?
Oh, interesting question.
Right. Like, is there a ripple effect happening there too? It's something to think about, especially if you're looking at the bigger picture.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure. Well, Miami, clearly a lot more than just beaches and nightlife.
A lot more.
It's a dynamic market with, let's just say, a lot of moving parts.
That's for sure.
Definitely a city to watch.